Do you have a couple of customers that you can maybe quote to illustrate what you just said?
Let me give you maybe two examples. One is William Hill. You probably know William Hill well. I mean, one of the largest betting and gaming companies. And they needed to exit their data centers very quickly. And obviously also not just exit data centers, I think that's one thing, but it's also giving their developers a whole different experience. And we, together with you, were able to transition, I think it was something like 3,000 VMs, and decommissioned 800 plus servers in under 12 months. I mean, that's pretty significant in terms of the speed. And from a cost savings example perspective, I don't know if you know this business called Chem. They're a PVC manufacturer in Lyon, and they needed to do a migration, but they wanted to do it in real time. So we were able to take, I think with a partner, you mentioned the partner network, I love that. Teamwork was the partner. We were able to take about 280 VMs and actually migrate that in real time. No downtime, by the way, for their 900 users, plus a 20% plus savings, right? Because they didn't have to buy new hardware, etc. So absolutely brilliant two examples, but I'm sure Luigi will have some more as well.
Yeah, probably you can share also a couple of them.
So let me start with an English one, Stagecoach. I mean, it's a transportation company, and basically they have decided to migrate their entire estate onto AWS in order to modernize the application. But what they have experienced is that they have immediate access to a lot of the services and the functionality super advanced that you can provide them. So it's a very good way for them to go into the next wave and have a much more modern platform.
It's a very good example because when we think about VMC and AWS, we think data center exit, application migration,
that's right.
cost savings, etc. But a lot of customers, as you say, are also migrating and modernizing, leveraging the AWS native services to enrich their existing applications. So they save time, but they modernize also. So your example is spot on.
Yeah, now coming back to Milan, I mean, actually there is a company which is headquartered not far away from here in Bergamo, Kiko. This is a cosmetics retailer, and they are pretty advanced. I mean, and they have decided to do the same. They have extended the data center onto AWS, and the objective is not only the hybrid cloud management, the cost reduction, the complexity, but again, is to innovate and to reach better and more of their very young clients around the world. I mean, this is quite important. And the last one I would like to take, and this is more maybe tech for good, is think about what together you and I mean AWS and VMware, what we have done in Ukraine.
Yes.
I mean, in a very short period, 2 months maybe, tens of clients were able to migrate off-prem onto AWS. And I'm thinking about specifically a bank that we cannot refer to, a very large bank, and they managed to do this with 450 instances in 45 days without any customer service interruption, which was great. And I think it's something that it makes you feel a little bit good also for the impact we had.
I love that you bring that up, and you're right, we can't name the bank, but gosh, we have just our employees as well. The impact on our employees when we do things like that is so important, right? Because I think your point on tech for good is fantastic. The other angle on tech for good that I think is important, and we didn't really necessarily cover it, but you have the ability to run, as you know, VMware and AWS Cloud across 21 regions. I think it is literally the most extensive public cloud environment for VMware, if I'm not mistaken. And we are new regions announcing all the time. So we just launched, by the way, our region in MENA. We are going live this year in Switzerland and Spain, and then next year in Israel. And we have a number of local zones as well, which are really important in Central Eastern Europe, for example, in our emerging markets. And the reason I say that is by 2025, we've made a commitment to have 100% of our operations powered by renewable energy. So just to hit on that sustainability point, you're not only doing this, as you say, for speed and innovation and cost savings and for good, which is wonderful, the societal change that comes with it, but you're also hitting your sustainability goals. Because once you've gone to AWS Cloud, right, by 2025, you can, on an average workload, reduce your emissions 96%. So it's pretty significant.
So great example, and one that we didn't touch yet is around disaster recovery. It's also a very important use case because there is not a single customer that is not touched by ransomware, cyber criminality, or whatever. We can also leverage VMC and AWS to do DR in the cloud, right?
Absolutely, and people are using site recovery as well as your cloud recovery program. In fact, the customer that comes to mind is Merrick. They're more of like an engineering and surveying geospatial kind of firm, and they had this ransomware use case in particular that they wanted to do, and they've leveraged your disaster recovery program. And actually, they were able to get their RPO down, I think it was like 30 minutes or something like that. So pretty extensive. And of course, don't forget the cost savings, because you don't need a second DR site. So, and by the way, the world we're operating in right now, if you think about the energy price situation, and you think about what Europe is being hit at in terms of FX, in terms of inflation, I think cost savings are becoming quite important. I mean, there's never a better time, I think, to move to cloud than now, because we can't possibly, our customers, operate in the environment we're operating in right now in their own data centers. And then the resilience factor is becoming increasingly important, and Ukraine showed us that.